Excellent, excellent. So let's jump into Visual Studio Code, because obviously on here I should be able to kick myself out easily. This should have been in there, but that's fine. I'll cancel the move. I'll move that later on. Let's go ahead and create a new folder. Nope, that's not what I want to do. That's where I want to create a folder and call it day 4. Awesome. Inside day 4, let's create a new file and call it loan.py. Now loan.py, what do we need to do again? Let me go and grab everything that I typed in here earlier and paste it in there. And there we go. Awesome. So as you can see now with an IDE, I can see mistakes that I made because I was trying to update my code. Now it's been updated. Okay. Let's see if this works out. To make a payment, the amount owed should be equal to amount owed minus our payments. Everything looks good. The only difference I did was I changed all those other new fields I had. So let's run this. Yeah, I don't like when it looks like this actually. So our car loan, let's try again, 800,500. Annual APR rate is, let's say, 0.02. Monthly payment, let's stick to the 500 again. And you can see that it took us 18 months to make that payment. Is everybody with me so far? I don't know why this is breaking up for me. I don't want it to break up like this. I want it to get the whole thing. And I'll go ahead and clear this out again so that we can see one more time. Let's go ahead and execute it. How much is your car loan? 8,500. How much is your APR rate? Let's say if it's 3, if it's 5%, that would be 0.5. And our monthly payment, let's go with 500 again. Again, it's taking us 4 months. But you can see that the balance is low. The balance is low because on month number 17, we had just $3 for our balance, right? That $3 for our balance, we need to be able to probably add some piece of code to make sure that we don't overpay at the end of the month. Does that make sense to everybody? So to make sure we don't overpay, we probably just want to add another condition. So you're making a payment that gives you the total amount of payment. But before we make a payment, we want to check if balance is less than payment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, just a simple condition. If money owed amount owed is less than payments, then we go ahead and just pay the amount owed rather than paying everything all together. So in this case, oh, why do I have this? Variable amount owed is float. Expected. Oh, never mind. That's because okay, that's fine. So let's indent it. If that's the case, let's go ahead and be nice and tell them what's going on. Let's say last payment is, let's give that the money owed, right? Amount owed. Now we can go ahead and say, hey, guess what? Means the fact that paid, oopsie, paid off your loan in months plus 1 because we haven't added it yet at the end, right? So we paid that off in months plus 1 months. After that, we're done. So if we're done, what do? We break. Get out of that loop. And then all of these don't need to execute anymore. Because again, we are inside our while loop. Does that make sense? So we have a condition. If this condition is met, we break. But before we break, we want to be nice and tell them what's going on before we're exiting. So that's the second part of what we had to do in our, oopsie, let's see. No, that's not what I want. Let me go back to our code. So that's the second part of what we wanted to do. While loops, being able to exit and break or continue. So we did an unknown number of iterations, which means we were able to just check whenever the amount owed is greater than 0, fine. We keep doing it and doing it. We did it about, let's see, how many times was it? 18. Yep, about 18 months. But now we realize that our balance is negative. If our balance is negative, we went ahead and added this piece of code to check if the balance is less than payment. If the balance is less than the payment, then we print that your last payment would be whatever it was. You paid it off in that number of months. So if I execute this right now, I can't remember what values I entered before, but let's try it again. 8,500 percentage APR. Let's try 0.04. It's getting lower. The payment is, let's make it $600. Now we got all the way to month number 14. We paid 600. Of that, the interest was about 2 cents, and now our balance was 100. With that balance of 100, it's definitely less than 600. So we said the last payment is that balance, and you paid off your loan in 15 months. Does that make sense? Everybody good with that? So yeah, that would be a good way to check it out. But again, it's dynamic. If we didn't want it to be dynamic, we can go ahead and just hard code the values in there. So when you go in to buy a house or a car and so on, you know what you need to know is the price, your APR, how much your payment is. You see how long it will take you in months to pay it off. Or if you want to see how many months you're interested in, you put in the months, and then you specify how many payments you need to make to be in that month. So you can switch that up around a little bit. Make sense?
Yeah, Prof, this is great, but this is only considering that we are making $500 monthly, and some companies have the flexibility that you can pay more than 500, right?
Yeah.
Whatever amount that you can pay, but the least amount needs to be this. But if you want to pay it off faster, you can increase to any amount you want monthly, and people can make payments maybe bi-monthly.
Yes. So again, that's all in there. You can add options to your program, but you have to start bit by bit. You can add options and say, hey, it's month number 12. Do you want to make the same payment? Yes. Do you want to change your payment? Yes. What do you want to change it to? And so on and so forth. And then that way you can have that flexibility. But in this case, we are assuming that your payments are always going to be the same. So if you want, you can add another variable in there to say, okay, enter your payment amounts, and you can specify, okay, on this month, the first 3 months, I'll pay this amount, and so on and so forth. But yeah.
Thank you. I own the process. I was almost like, this is real. This is happening now.
Yeah. So this is exactly what you do to make this work. If you want to change it to say you want to specify the number of months, okay, the number of times that you want to make your payments, that case would be, let me go back to our code. That would be looking at for loops with non-number of iterations. Okay. In that case, if we want to do that, all we have to do is, instead of doing a while loop, let me code that out. You need to do a for loop. So let's say for months in, again, remember that range that we talked about? Range in here, we want to use months. Now we want to specify how many months you want to pay it for. Let's say we want to pay for 48 months. That's 4 years. You can go ahead then and say, okay, for months within that, it's going to go ahead and run this 48 times. If you wanted to do it for 12 months, let's do 12. It's going to go ahead and run it for 12 times. But then we have to be careful. I don't want to go ahead and update the months. All I need to do then is subtract it. Okay, and then you say month number. Where is it? I can't see. Okay, that's months. Let's go down. Yep, I need to not print this out anymore. So made payments and so on and so forth, amount owed. Yep. So it's going to go through the iterations, but maybe I need to get another counter in here to be able to see what month it is that I'm making payments for. So month, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, actually, let's go ahead and print just month. Month number 1, I don't need to update this. Yeah. So let's try this out and see what happens this time around. Let's clear this. Execute that. How much is your car loan? Let's try 9,500. APR rates, let's try 0.06. How much is your monthly payment? 400. Now you can see that it's going to run for just those 12 months. So it starts with month number 0. I forgot about that. So it starts with month number 0. Why is that? It starts with month number 0 because when you use range, this range is going to start from 0 to, let's see, let me write a comment. Range of 5 starts from 0 to 4. Does that make sense? So here it's starting from month 0 and it's going to end at month 11 because we had 12 in here. So it's starting from 0 to 11. So let me update this. 12 will have 0 to 11. So what we need to do is add 1 each time. And it should have the correct one. So except you want to consider month 0 as your down payment. But yeah, that gives you, in this case, a defined set. Like after 24, what was that? After 12, sorry, after 1 year, your balance is going to be 4,700. If you want to change that and do 2 years, execute that. I don't remember the amounts I put in. Probably you pay it off in 2 years and so on and so forth. So those are all ways that you can use the for loop to look at defined range, or you can use the while loop to look at indefinite range, as we see here. Okay. So we've been able to test out the iterations, the breaks, and we also looked at ranges in both the indefinite and the defined loop. One thing we didn't talk about is iterables, but I don't want us to rush into that because that's what we'll be doing next week. Iterables, again, are just collections of stuff, collections of strings, collections of numbers, and so on and so forth. Sounds good? So this week, we've been able to look at conditional execution. Oops, I did not intend to click on that. Conditional executions and loops and iterations. So with loops and iterations, we've just looked at a bunch of practice questions. We also started off with initializing variables. As you can see, it's important that you set things up ahead of time, initialize them, and so on. We looked at while loops, for loops, how to break out of the loop or how to continue to the next iteration. We did some practicing, and obviously debugging got us good. We were able to kick ourselves out with an infinite loop, not very friendly, not very fun. And yeah, so a few things to note here. It's always good to plan. Plan how you want to approach your problem. Otherwise, you get into issues like I just did. So in programming, there's something known as pseudocode. So let's see if I can find one here to share with you guys.